I could have. All right. Every Tuesday, as we always are, we are joined by our guy from the Michigan Sports and Spine Center, Dr. Jeff Pierce. And, Doc, appreciate your time as always. And there was a two-pronged attack I had for you today.
Uh-oh.
First off, welcome, by the way. Good to see you.
It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. I wanted to talk about this because this has touched kind of my inner circle of friends. This pickleball mania stuff. Now, word is on the streets, you're in the process of becoming Dr. Pickleball. Can you elaborate on that?
No, I can't.
Okay.
No. I've had a lot of titles over the years, and with my aging self and friends who want to stay active, they're getting very active in pickleball. Most recent, Chris Draper.
Yes.
Top 50 over 50 in the world.
That's what he's claiming.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's good. The Cleary was playing, Sean Horkoff's playing, a lot of guys are playing. The one who really introduced me to pickleball was Bobby Ritchie, Kid Rock.
Okay.
He is every morning playing. But there's a lot of injuries. The stat is, and I can't confirm it, but the stat is that Medicare is not happy with
yes, and that's where I was going to go.
Pickleball. Supposedly, there's a 26% increase in spend on musculoskeletal injuries for Medicare for 2023. So maybe I should be Dr. Pickleball.
I'm just saying.
What's the pickleball injury? What's the most common?
Oh, hamstrings, backs, so Drapes has a new partner, Mac. I mean, he's got a pickleball partner who she hurt her back. She's got classic findings of a pinched nerve. So we're going to be dealing with that. But you have everything. You have wrist injuries. You have neck injuries. You got, these people are, how do we politely say it for our older generation?
Immobile?
No, I won't say immobile because they are creating mobility. Pardon me?
Less mobile? I don't know.
Less mobile. The elasticity of our body is not what it used to be.
Okay.
We'll go with a little bit more elasticity and collagens and stuff like that. But the hamstrings are tighter, the Achilles are tighter, their ankles are tight. Everything's tighter and everything's aggravated. Granted, you're not moving far like intended. You're not running too much, but it's quick movement. Those quick movements is a whole different body style, type, whatever we want to say. And it's leading to that injury. When your hamstring's a little bit tighter and you're getting competitive and you're reaching for that ball, which happened in her case, you get that tweak. You get that, what they feel like a tear. So to be honest, everything musculoskeletal, shoulder injuries, just from the use of it, knee, hips, the whole body, there's so many turns on these bodies already. And now you're putting them into some competitive pickleball, which is supposed to be safe, but the competitiveness is increasing.
In the chat, Dr. Pierce, Lorena Rios says brittle. Brittle is the term that you're looking for. So I guess brittle is kind of, and then look, I'm not saying that. Somebody in the chat said that. So maybe right there.
Brittle could be a term.
Brittle's a term. Ryan Lentz, I'll run anyone in the chat in pickleball. So the people are out there talking.
Never seen Lentz get so excited.
I know, he piped up right away. But my question about that, and again, circling back to the business side of this, one of my wife's best friends, her dad, he's pushing 70 right now, torn Achilles playing pickleball. Yeah. And, you mentioned the numbers, you brought the numbers to the forefront. In insurance companies, all that kind of stuff, there is a business side to all this, right?
For who? For or against the insurance companies? They're going to start doing preventative care. I may become popular for Medicare itself, just for injury prevention of,
there you go.
Of knowledge of playing. But on a serious note, she's really good. Let's call her the big D with Drapes. But there's a proper way of playing too, right? Like any sport. If you're out there just goofing around, you're a little bit more prone to injury. To enjoy the game and be functional and be, like we said, preventative. I talk about preventative for my son's lacrosse. We talk about preventative for hockey. This prevention is still needed, but we may have to take a different approach because of the age category of who's majority of the people playing. So there is a huge business. they're opening up a new facility here in Auburn Hills. You know, every place like where I belong, there's new pickleball courts where we live, these tennis courts, but a lot of the tennis is now starting to push back at a lot of the big places, but you can't underestimate the growth of this. It's fastest growing sport. And the elderly, on the good side, it's getting people moving, right? These people are becoming active again, which is always good for cardiac, pulmonary, all parts of your body are going to benefit from being active. And now this isn't like I'm just walking. There's an active sport that's taking on this thing.
Woodward
called pickleball.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Nick Hedigan, pickleball is code for I gave up and now I'm going to try again. It's taking some slander here.
No, but the whole thing, Doc, is like putting in, it's we talked about before, where it comes around is being preventative. What are the preventative things? Because a lot of people just assume you're not going to move or whatever, so they don't warm up properly. Neil and I were talking about before of how, you know, the one thing, you know, that I make sure that I do is at least stretch, you know, for golf or do some workouts to help the golf game. Is that what you're seeing? So pretty much make sure you warm up because you're not as young as you used to be, and you may feel like you are, and you get back out there and people just go too hard too early.
The mind is there, the body's not following. You know, I wonder if we can create a scale where the brain is versus your body and try to bring it closer for awareness of people. That would be a fun scale to play with.
That's what Dr. Pickleball's for.
Absolutely. Dr. Pierce joining us here, as he always does, on Tuesday from the Michigan Sport and Spine Center. You go to michigansportandspine.com, take a look at the services they have to offer. Like, look, if you're what we're talking about, if you've been immobile for a while, you're trying to get mobile, certainly would do you very well to consult with a professional before you just run out there and start, you know, pulling hamstrings and whatever. Rack, I bet Grandpa Joe would be good at pickleball because he's gotten all that rest before. So this is not a Grandpa Joe friendly zone here. But Doc, I did want to change up on you here. We talked earlier, I think it was earlier in the month, a photo was making the rounds of Brian Branch, you know, and he had the little scooter. You know, it had some kind of procedure done. I wasn't familiar with what the procedure was, and I'm not asking you to speak on it. But I did want to ask you this because it got my attention when we were discussing it. With the advent of social media, and certainly, you know, it's continued usage of it, how often, and I guess I'm asking you to speculate here, how often does a player go through a procedure, an NFL player, in the offseason? Because everyone kind of lost their mind about it for a second, you know, said, oh, what was the deal and stuff like that. And I started thinking about it. I bet that's more often than we think it is. Guys going through procedures in the offseason. Could you venture a guess at what percentage of an NFL player probably goes through some kind of procedure in the offseason?
Well, first we can define what's a procedure. You know, is it surgical? Is it injections? Is it, you know, different therapies?
Just surgical, let's say.
Surgical,
something like that.
Probably around that 10-15%.
Okay.
Not a monstrous amount. Because a lot of these guys aren't playing through it anymore like they used to. They're taking care of it because, again, the business is it's hard to play through, right? So there probably is a number, but it's hidden also. A lot of these guys are going off to different areas to have it done. But I think it's under 20%, but it's just the recovery, the rehab, what they're doing, what they've blown off. You know, everything doesn't need surgery. Again, there's other things out there, the secret sauce, the regenerative medicine. We're getting way more sophisticated trying to prevent the surgery. You know, is there cleanups of knees or hip resurfacing or, you know, shoulder resurfacing? You know, major surgeries like an Achilles or, you know, an ACL. No, we're not seeing that because those are taken care of right away.
Right.
But it's a little nagging thing. Like, you know, my shoulder, you know, for football, you can pretty much stay under here. But to get up, you know, up above your head, you can get through the season and then get scoped at the end of the season kind of attitude. Or a lot of hand injuries. Like a lot of guys just say, screw it, and it heals wrong, and they'll deal with it later. And before they know it, 4 years have gone by.
And I guess, D-Mac, that's kind of what I was driving at, because I still think that people don't understand the physical toll.
Well, it's more of a tune-up, right? Like, and these are things as it goes on throughout the year, is that where you confer with your doctor, like Dr. Pierce, and say, can it wait? What are the pros and cons of me waiting to have it done? Now we hear throughout the season in all different sports, a guy got his knee scoped during the week and he's back playing on the weekend or something. So the medical advances have come. So these are the conversations, and it's more of a off-season tune-up than it is anything major or serious. We hear when the major serious surgeries happen, but this happens more times than not.
Yeah, it's not like game ending or anything like that, but it is, tune up could be the good word.
Well, you're going to take I don't have 4 weeks to heal, recover, do what I need to do during the season. So I'm going to hold off on the things that don't need to be pressed until the beginning of the off season or whatever. Then why do guys get it done right after the season? Because they have time to recover and take that time, because Doc says, oh, I could do it now, but you're going to play in 4 days and it's just going to reopen, and then you might do more harm. So these are the conversations that has have. So it's not like it used to be in the past where it'd be like, oh my God, look at this guy. No, he's just more getting something, and maybe tune up isn't the right word. It's more of a oil change and the tires rotated and you know what, like
maintenance stuff,
like a deeper maintenance that you can't do because you don't have the time.
It's a deeper maintenance to get you healthier, right? It's all about, and Max, exactly right. It's that conversation we have. We weigh both sides of the story. For high pressure guys, career ending, let's get the Achilles done now, or Achilles is an automatic, but some of that little nagging stuff, like shoulder stuff, we can wait. Can we wait? If we do it, you got to rest for 3 to 4 weeks.
Give you the greatest example: 02 finals. Steve Yzerman needs a knee replacement, but in the playoffs instead, he says, "What are my options?" Well, we can shoot it up every game, but it's gonna, when it wears out, you're gonna be in more pain than whatever. Me ask the question, but can I play? Will it get me through the playoffs? Absolutely. Okay, we'll deal with whatever happens. What does he have after the season? Reconstructive knees, like a whole new knee put in, pretty much, right, Doc? So these are the options and the sacrifices that players at the top end go through.
All right. I mean, for some of these guys, it's either the last chance, first chance. Playoffs are different. Look at what's going on now. I mean, New York, we talked about New York.
Out of gas,
we talked about load management. There's a good case for load management. It's the mental capacity of the player too. Like, I'm surprised a lot of these guys didn't play in basketball. I'm very surprised that they didn't show up for their team. I mean, look at Milwaukee. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, what are they saying? Indiana is the unwelcome presence to the playoffs because they played against 2 teams that were just injury prone. Right. I mean, it's timing too. A lot of winning championships of timing. I mean, look at Kansas City. They were beat up and they got healthy for playoffs.
No, absolutely. But Doc, as always, every week, we certainly do appreciate the time, my friend, and the insight as well. Again, Dr. Jeff Pierce, the purveyor of Michigan Sport and Spine Center. Check them out.
Dr. Pickleball.
He is Dr. Pickleball.
I think we're going with that. We'll put that on the back here.
Is that what it is?
We're going to sell it for a while.
Pickleball Pierce.
If you're thinking about jumping into the pickleball world, everybody, MichiganSportandSpine.com. Get the okay first, all right?
Yeah.
Check in with Dr. Pierce.
This is a different clearing before preseason. So
Absolutely.
we did a lot of preseason physicals. This may be a little bit more detail.
There you go.
Check that prostate too.
That's on you, Doc. All right, Doc, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. As always, my friend. Hey.